guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video today we are going to be learning how to make a simple UK garage two-step type of beat in Logic Pro X. This template will be available for you guys to download, which will include the samples. The EP piano I just put in for reference point, but this video is just mainly going to be about the drums. So I'm actually going to take all this away and we are going to start from scratch. So let's just clear everything here. And first and foremost, I have a 4-bar loop here. And the first thing that we are going to do is put in a snare pattern. And this is just going to quickly allow us to get the groove of the track. And you're going to want to put the snare on the 2nd and 4th beat. And just make sure that you have the velocities at a decent level. I'm going to put mine at about 90. And then what I'll do is I'll just copy this all over. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is incorporate the kick drum. With kick drums, you want something that's short and punchy with a little bit of low end, but nothing too overbearing. So what I'm going to do is open up the piano roll again, right click, create empty MIDI region. And I'm going to place a kick drum on the first beat of the bar. And then I'm going to put one here, which is on the 3rd beat of the bar in between. And then I'm going to basically copy this pattern over, and it's going to sound like this. What we're going to do next though to add variation is we're going to start adding some extra kick drums hits into the equation. But before we do that, just so that you can get the groove going, what you want to do is go into the hi-hat. And what we're going to do is create another empty MIDI region. And with this one, I'm going to put one in between. So it's going to be on this hit, and this hit, and this hit. So it's going to sound like this. And I'm going to just copy that over. So the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So on the ands, we are going to put a hit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Just so that we can give it a bit more of a shuffle, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to change my grid size to 24s. And just to give this a little bit of that swing feel, I'm going to open this up slightly, and I'm going to just ever so slightly shift these off so they're a bit loose, right? Very, very slightly though, not like incredibly, but very, very slightly. As you can see, if you zoom right in, we'll be able to shift this over, right? So from there, slightly over there. Now, going back to our kick drum, we do now want to start adding some extra hits. So I'm just going to join this together, and I am going to get the kick drum, or rather I'm going to add some extra hits for the kick drum. So let's open this up. As you can see, we've got a few hits here, and what I'm going to do is just add a few more to get that bounce going. Okay, so I do like that. This one here I feel is a little bit too straight, so again I'm going to open up the grid size again, and I'm going to put my grid size to 20 on the 24 section, and I'm just going to move this slightly over and see how it sounds. And there you have it. Now we've got that triplet vibe with our kick drum. So what you need to do is just open up the grids like I've done there, and just move it slightly over, and that's kind of what gives UK garage that bouncy syncopated vibe. It's that triplet vibe that a lot of the UK garage tracks have. So I'm not going to overcomplicate the kick drum now. Alright guys, so now moving on to the open hi-hat. For the open hi-hat I've got this sound here, and with open hi-hats they are going to complement the other hi-hat that we have here, and we're going to essentially put the open hi-hat usually just before a snare. So the snare is hitting on the 2nd beat and the 4th beat. So with the open hi-hat, I'm going to put it just before that. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm also going to put one there. And I'm going to just bring down these velocities slightly so that it's not as prominent. So what I've done here, guys, is I've added a open hi-hat just at the end of the fourth beat leading back into the bar, and that basically just gives it a bit more of that bounce. We'll have a listen to it now. Right guys, the next component that I'm going to add in is a clap, and with the clap is essentially just going to layer the main snare, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it on the fourth beat of the bar, which is there, and another one here which sounds a bit like this. And just so that it's not hitting exactly at the same time as the snare, what I'm going to do, again like I've done before, is I'm going to open up the grid a little bit, and I'm ever so slightly going to shift this clap. So if I command A all, just slightly off there. That way you can hear the snare hitting with the clap, but the clap is slightly off. And then another hi-hat that I have here is like another open hi-hat sound. I'm going to just bring down the volume of this slightly. And with this one, I'm going to place it in another strategical place to give it that bounce. So with this other open hi-hat, I'm going to put it on exactly after the first hit of the kick. So I've just put it here, the first kick drum hits on the first beat of the bar, and I'm going to put it here on this quarter division. So bearing in mind, guys, this is quite a simple kind of bounce with the hi-hats. I haven't gone crazy with this, I've gone quite basic, as this is just a basic tutorial. Okay guys, the next component that I am going to add is the ghost rim, and this is another way to add bounce within a UK garage drum beat. And typically what I'd like to do with the ghost rim is usually place it after a snare hit or after a kick drum hit, and this is basically to sort of fill in the gaps. You're almost trying to create like this call and response kind of pattern within the drums themselves. So I'm going to experiment with that now. I'm going to right click and create a empty MIDI region, and then I'm going to open it up, and as you know, we've got the snare hitting on the second and fourth beat, so I'm going to put a ghost rim here, and I've obviously made sure that the velocity is quite low. See how that sounds. I'm going to place another one here after this kick drum hit. Maybe put even another one at the end. In fact, I might take this one here away. Yeah, I do like that pattern there. So what I've done there is on the second bar, I put one ghost rim hit just after the kick drum and one right at the end. So far guys, the pattern is now sounding like this. The next thing guys that I am going to add is a crash. So with this, it's just going to be very simple. At the start of the bar, I'm just going to put up the velocity a little bit more, and this just signals that, you know, we're at the start of the bar. So I'm actually now going to make this a 4-bar loop. Alright guys, so now that I feel like we've got all of our main components for this basic UK garage drum beat, I feel like the last element left is some percussion. Now with the percussion in garage, you can add things such as wood blocks, percussion hits, shakers, tambourines, and for the sake of this tutorial today guys, I'm just going to add in a simple shaker loop. So what we're going to do is go up to track, and we are going to create a new drummer track. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to open it up, and I am going to go to this region here, which will allow us to pick which kind of genre we want. And I'm going to go for something that would be close to UK garage, so maybe R&B. We're going to go to modern R&B, and we are going to load this one up, and I'm going to then click on one of these beat presets, and I think I'm going to go for common chords, and then let me just shorten this so that it's matching up with the rest of it. And then if we open this up, we want to obviously get rid of the kick drum because we've got that already. But we want to go for the shakers. So we are going to go for this icon here. And we want something quite simple because we don't want to overcomplicate things. So we're going to move this ball thing here and have a listen to how that sounds. We are in UK Garage, we are going to give it a little bit of a swing, so I'm going to put the swing up to about 60%. So I'm pretty happy with how all of that sounds. I think the last element that I'm going to add to the equation is a simple tambourine hit. I'm going to quickly listen again just so that I can hear where I'd like to put it. So I think I'm going to put it here at the end of the bar, and not too loud. I'm going to bring this down. So there we have it, guys, a basic UK Garage / two-step beat that you can make yourself in Logic Pro X. Just so that we can put this all together, I'm just going to lay down a quick chord progression, and this is just going to be very basic. F major 7 with an A minor, and that is our beat completed. And I am just going to adjust that so that it fits in line. So guys, that is the video complete. This was a basic overview on how to make a UK Garage beat in Logic Pro X. Like I said, guys, feel free to experiment, and if you want to get that bouncy syncopated UK Garage vibe, play around with the 24th grid pattern thing and get that more triplet vibe. But of course, start off with the basic beat pattern like I've showed you, and then add to that, and you'll be on your way to making your first UK Garage drum beat. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Hope it's been helpful. If it has, do drop a thumbs up down below. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and also subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video here on this channel.